So yeah, we got Xanderhal's diagram. It's cool. It's good. He just takes a little long to explain it, but I want to explain it to everyone else. So we have this big circle. This is the left. And then you have these three small circles, right? You got your tankies, your class reductionists, and your woke scolds. Now, each of these groups are pretty problematic for the movement that is leftism and just left-wing politics in general, because left-wing politics are really good. They're great things, but when you have these things in the way, optically damaging the reputation of an overall great thing, that's a big problem, and I feel like not enough people are talking about it. So we're going to go through all of these real quick. Class reductionists basically are people that they pretty much associate every problem, or the majority of all problems, they pretty much boil them all down to being the faults of capitalism, which a lot of problems are flaws in capitalism. A lot of problems we face in society, that is true. The thing is that it's not every problem. There are, like, an example would be, if we got rid of capitalism, racism would still be a thing, right? Racism is not caused by capitalism. That's just how that works. And so to these people, they sort of essentialize that. They just kind of, there's a lack of intersectional thinking going on with them. I haven't really encountered these types of people. They haven't been too much of a problem for me, but I think that all of these people, except for tankies, they're motivated for a good cause, right? They have good intentions. So since I brought up tankies, we'll go up with that next. Tankies, they are people that are more authoritarian left rather than libertarian left. So I don't know, authoritarianism is just cringe. That is not what the socially progressive movement of the left is all about. Like, I'd say that I describe them as being economically left-leaning, but socially not so much. You can find these guys often defending or supporting Stalin. They're often Stalinists, that sort of thing, and they're kind of annoying. I'm not a public figure, so I haven't really dealt with these as much. The group that I've dealt with the most, I'd say, is woke scolds. Woke scolds I've seen a lot of, and I know that woke scolds have been a very big problem in making the left unattractive, specifically to a large group of people I know personally, right? I have a lot of right libertarian leaning gamer friends, and when they're complaining about left-wing stuff, they're often complaining about woke scolds. Woke scolds are essentially people who, and I think that these people really do have good intentions. I really think that is what these people specifically are motivated by. The thing is that they do not express this in a good way at all. It's very harmful. They essentially get very upset and very, I guess, triggered about anything that isn't woke enough, okay? If it's not left enough, if there isn't enough diversity, they will always find something to complain about. Most MLs don't support Stalin. MLs, Marxist-Leninists, is that? I'm pretty sure that's what that means. I've seen some that do, some that don't, but I haven't had that much experience with them. I'm just talking about what I've seen secondhand. But back to woke scolds, they, even as a progressive leftist myself, woke scolds make me hate it sometimes. Yeah, they're the types of people to complain about as many things as possible, and they'll often go after other leftists. An example would be ContraPoints. ContraPoints is a very popular leftist YouTuber, and she made a video, and it featured Buck Angel, who is a trans man who is a trans medicalist. And that's a pretty cringe perspective, but he was in the video for like 5 seconds to read a voice line. He didn't, like, to read a quote. Like, he didn't even promote any trans medicalism. But then these woke scolds harassed and bullied ContraPoints to the point of depression and alcoholism. And so it's just these toxic behaviors that exhibits what woke scolds are. He made it as sort of like a Venn diagram, like a triple Venn diagram. I don't know how much intersection there really is. And this black section in the middle, he said what they all have in common is pretty much being cancerous as shit. So yeah, they're all kind of annoying, and they're not the majority of the left, but they're a very loud minority, and it really turns people away. People from the outside looking at the leftist community, it really turns people away when you see woke scolds being angry about everything and not shutting up about, something not being woke enough, and just they're just very angry all the time. And that, with the ContraPoints thing, for example, like going back to that, like Buck Angel's positions of trans medicalism are cringe. That's bad. That is bad, but you shouldn't bully and harass someone that much. Like, you shouldn't. Nothing's going to be perfect, and I feel like that's kind of what these people are all about. And also with tankies will often brigade you, telling you that you're not smart enough unless you read all this theory, and they're like super obsessed with it, and they just kind of, they pretty much yell at you for not reading theory, and they have kind of authoritarian takes. That's pretty cringe, right? People do not like that aggression directed, like all of this aggression that these people have. It's not directed in the right way. It should be directed at the right, at conservatives, at bad ideas. That's what it should be directed towards. But we have this problem to where people within the left are hurting the left. And same thing with class reductionists. It kind of, what they do is they kind of, I guess, reduce the ideas that the left has and make it to where, they're just kind of anti-capitalist. And so someone on the outside looking in is just like, oh yeah, they're all just about socialism. They don't actually really care about it, racism or anything. Like, it kind of delegitimizes it to people on the outside, which, capitalism is cringe. These people are right in that sense, but to people looking on the outside, if that's all they see, especially from these types of people, it causes problems. It causes less people getting interested. It makes people lose an interest in the left, and the less people we have, the worse it is for society in general, right? If we want to change things and make the world a better place, we need to get as many people to our cause as possible. And so, these people not contributing to that, that's a big problem, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. So that pretty much summarizes everything. I kind of got it all in 10 minutes, it looks like, so that's really good.